I barely hit halfway
All
point.
right,
So
let's go. Okay, let's do that. Keep going. Yeah, let's go.
so as Christians, having learned just the power of search engine, I think we should learn to leverage the search engine so that we can drive traffic to our Bible content or even gospel centered content.
He is risen. He is risen indeed.
Come on.
Yes! 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 I did it!
He is risen.
He is risen indeed.
Welcome to another Christian Streamer Conversations. 2024 is a little bit different this year. We have a set of topics to do, and we're having guests, or I'm having guests, or guest hosts, whatever you want to look at it, right? So this week, we have EpiTimmy. So EpiTimmy, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is EpiTimmy. I always introduce myself as Timmy, and I'm a pastor and a Christian, and I stream here on Twitch as a hobby. And I do so all with the intention of sharing the gospel and God's word. And for those of you who don't know, I am a real pastor. I'm a Baptist pastor. So, and I preach almost every other Sunday. So,
Yeah, he is a real pastor. I can verify that. I've seen him preach on the pulpit. You know, he actually dresses up pretty nicely too. You know.
yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't dress nicely today, my friend.
Well, no, you're looking good. You look better than me. I'm wearing a T-shirt. I was wearing a button. Huh?
Do you know what I'm wearing right now?
Well, it looks like a button-down shirt.
You know, but do you know what these logos are? If you can see it.
Star Wars.
I know. I'm wearing Star Wars.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, okay.
Even though I've never watched or laid an eye on any Star Wars
What?
movie.
Wait, what? Seriously?
Seriously.
You've never watched any Star Wars movie?
Never.
How can you be one of the only human beings on the face of this planet who's never seen a Star Wars movie?
And I'm precisely wearing a Star Wars shirt for this Christian streamer conversation.
All right, that is awesome. I love it. I love it. Thanks for doing that. I appreciate it.
It's all for you, my friend.
That's awesome. All right, for those who don't know EpiTimmy, like I said, he's a streamer, but the idea is that he was one time on my show. We were talking about SEO, search engine optimization, and he went through a really long and wonderful detailed explanation. I actually, Yoshi gratefully converted that into a transcript that I was editing at one point, but it was so many pages of editing that I didn't ever finish it. So the idea was that, you know, this was one of the topics that he was wanting to talk about, and we're going to share about this. And so mostly it's going to be letting him talk. I'm going to ask questions along the way because I don't have any script per se. I do have some of the images that he has shared with me. If he when ready to do that, we'll show those. And we'll also take comments and questions along the way, and we'll go from there. So basically, let's head over to, I think, EpiTimmy, first off, you need to explain what, well, okay, do you have an opening statement that you want to say?
Yeah, two things. First, how I got into SEO, and second, what gives me the credentials, sort of quote-unquote credentials, to talk about SEO. And then we'll dive into what is SEO all about. And then maybe I can just give you a general outline of today. So first, how I got into SEO. Second, what gives me the credentials to talk about it. Third, what is SEO all about? Fourth, why is SEO important, particularly for Christians, okay? For Christians who want to get into content creation. Fifth, speaking of Christians, why I think even solid Bible-believing Christians may not be utilizing SEO to its fullest extent or even correctly in content creation. And then we're going to cover some key principles of SEO. And that key principles of SEO, I can milk out this podcast for hours, but I'll try to be as concise as possible. And then just kind of make some general comment on SEO on different platforms, because there's so many different platforms you can really get into. And then finally, some tools, resources to maybe assist you as you think about SEO. Very broad. As I'm coming into the stream, I do not plan to cover every little detail, because SEO as a topic itself is a very broad topic, and there are actually courses online that you can actually take for free And I can link it up to you guys later on, just to kind of give you some resources. But just to first and foremost, let's get into how I got into SEO, search engine optimization. So I've been a blogger myself, and for however long. I remember when I first done blogging, I started blogging in high school, but I was just writing about my.
Okay.
This
is like pre-streaming, right? So you weren't streaming yet. Were you a passer at this point?
No, I mentioned I was in high school.
Right. Well, okay. Fair enough. You're right. You did say that.
And so I started blogging when I was in high school. So I wrote a lot of journal stuff, like my personal life. But then later on, after I became a Christian, I started to blog about the Christian faith and Christian life. And so I was very into all those blogging. And then I kind of had a season where I stopped doing it for a while. And I really want to get back into blogging and kind of share some of my thoughts. But I didn't get into it until during COVID time. So how I got into SEO was sometime in the beginning of COVID, and then one of my many friends, his kids and my kids are around the same age. Oh, not around the same. They are literally the same age, and so my wife and his wife were good friends. And so we got together one time, we had some conversations, and he talked about SEO. He talked about,
that's cool.
And so he talked about it, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I really want to get back into blogging. I thought about it, and I just don't know how. So he kind of walked me through the process of creating a website, having some sort of web hosting, and so what's very ironic is that he got me into SEO, but then somehow along the way he got too busy to do SEO, and so I sort of just went ahead and just like learn as much as I can about SEO. And so after I created my website, which is, I'll just review right now, EpiTimmy.com. After I created my website, I kind of had a season where I wrote a few blog posts, and I kind of sort of, I don't know about this. Like I started giving up a little bit, but then like half a year later, my friend came up to me and talked to me. So how's everything going? How's your website going? Is it getting a lot of traffic? I'm like, no, I just been so busy, didn't have time to get into it. And then he told me, try to encourage me to think about it or consider going back into it. And so I knew that I was paying money annually to host my website. That's what you have to do, by the way. If you want to have your own personal website, you do have to pay money. And so I thought, you know what? I'm already paying money for this. I might as well try my best to give it my all. So then I actually did some research. I took some courses, and just to kind of learn as much as I can about SEO. And Ken, like I talk about how I wash dishes a lot, right?
Yeah.
and what do you say about me washing dishes?
It's really therapeutic. People have known, I've heard about, they love washing dishes. Very therapeutic. It gets them away from doing anything else, how they do something, and just a way to just chill out.
Yeah, and there's a season in my life where it was not really it was sort of therapeutic, but since I was washing dishes, I wanted to listen to something while I'm washing dishes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so what I did was I actually try to absorb and soak up as much SEO on YouTube. Now, granted, I just want to kind of give you some caveat, and that is not everything you watch on YouTube is actually that good. So you just got to be very careful. But there are reputable SEO companies which I will provide at the end of the podcast. So that's why you had to stay till the end, right?
Yeah, stay to the end.
Stay till the end, and I'll give you some resources to think about, and how you can, if you really want to learn more, how you can get started. At least for the free version, okay? And because all the free version you see on YouTube, they don't give you everything, okay? They just give you very surface level thing, and then when you try to implement them, it's like, oh, why is it not working? Well, that's because they're trying to encourage you to buy their courses. Right?
Oh yeah. This right now is free. Okay, so
this one is this one is free. I'm just offering as much as I can. Granted, like I can say a lot, but I just want to, there are some things I cannot, I don't want to get into because too many details, too many nuances.
This is the starting point. Yeah.
This is a starting point. So, okay. So, having said that, what gives me the credential to talk about?
Before you do
SEO?
that,
okay, sir.
So it's search engine optimization.
Correct.
Seems pretty self-explanatory. In other words, it's searching. Like it's in other words, it's discoverability, right? It's the way for people to find you by virtue of the things you like, not necessarily stream, but like maybe like code words or I mean you can get into that detail, but it's basically it's a way for people to better find you. It's a way for the algorithm to show you, to share you. It's a way to have people find, because it says your search engine. If we type something in the search engine, what are you playing? Google, Brave, whatever it is, right? The first item that pops up, you want that to be yours. And so that's kind of like what this is all about, kind of like pushing you to the top or helping you get more discoverability.
Correct.
Okay.
And I'll get into all the details afterwards.
All right, fair enough. I just want to make sure about that. Okay.
So, what gives me the credential to talk about SEO? I just want to say up front, I'm not an SEO expert. I don't want to claim to be an SEO expert. So, having said that, I have some success with some of my experiences using SEO. So for those of you who don't know, like I already mentioned, I created my own website. I've been blogging ever since. And I would say that I have found some success with my blog, and that's where like you can show the image if you want.
The first one?
Doesn't matter which one.
Well, I have them on 3 different slides, okay? So the first one is just shows you over time, like from 0 to like almost like 5K of traffic, I guess.
Yeah. What search engines are we focusing on? Retro talks about. Well, today is going to just be more focused on Google and YouTube, because Google, I'll just say Google in general, because Google is like is a top search engine around the world. Google Duck is DuckDuckGo is not as, is only for like a very I would say like small group of people who want to protect their privacy, but generally most people around the world know what Google is, and so we'll just stick with Google for today, and some YouTube too as well. So
this traffic, this first chart here that has the G and A's on the bottom, is a from July to January, from 23 to 24 is your EpiTimmy.com website.
Yes, correct. Okay. So this is this data that I'm showing you on the graph here. Like this graph I'm showing you is one of the tools called Ahrefs. Different tools will give you different sort of numbers. So I would say, yeah, this is one of the tools that gives you an idea of the organic traffic that I'm getting. And so as of right now, as I guess for today, I'm getting around at least, I don't know if it's a month thing. I don't remember if it's a monthly or a day thing, but it seems like I'm getting close to 5,000 organic traffic, give or take. So you can see the progression for a year, how, I was almost zero, right? But then having worked and published however many articles, it's not all about creating so many articles, but it's also about creating quality articles, which I'll get into it later.
This chart is not cumulative, right?
No, it's not cumulative.
It's
every chart you might see, as I showed you, is different in some sense. So which will lead me to the next chart.
Wait. What does the A and G stand for on the bottom of the chart?
So the A and G is Google algorithm updates.
Oh, what's the A stand for?
So 8 reps.
Okay. The next chart is.
I think that's what it means. I forgot what it means. I didn't look into too deep
This
into it.
chart is like 12K users, 17K views, 54K event counts. So
Yeah. So FYI, like if you ask me what all these numbers mean, I'll be honest, I don't exactly know what they mean. What's the distinction between all 4 of them? Precisely because I don't care. I'm like, okay, I see so many users, so many sessions, okay, whatever, right? And so this chart here that I'm showing you right here is the traffic that I'm getting this past month.
Past month? Or January?
From December.
December.
31st,
okay, so this is recent.
all the way
stuff.
to at the end of January. So that was 1 month.
So let's back up one to the previous slide, okay? So you this shows like in March of 2023, you're maybe, I don't know, maybe 100 people, okay? And now about say a year later, you're at 5K. So you're gonna basically show us, because you said what right do you have to say, or what's your evidence, right, of you're gonna say that traffic went from where it was a year ago to today because of the things you've done for SEO.
Correct. Okay. Because I don't want to. It's an issue of integrity, right? So I don't want to just start talking about SEO and not show you guys what I've done in the past. And so this is not like some sort of like bragging thing. It's just really showing, like I want to talk about it because I want to share with you some of my understanding of this. And here I do these graphs. Especially this one that we're seeing here is from Google Analytics. I would say Google Analytics is perhaps, I think, is the most accurate in terms of data.
Okay.
Every data is not exact number, but it's more like a give or takes kind of a thing.
And it shows that the preceding period was lower, which means you said the preceding was lower, now you're bigger. All right. In the last chart,
in the last chart is still Google Analytics. So kind of showing you like this past year. Again, it's kind of like it's kind of the first slide, but then it's a little bit different. So now you notice that from the beginning, I'm not sure if it's January or not, or maybe the beginning of the year. So I went from like, I don't know, not much users to like going up a lot, skyrocketing. Now you may notice that at the end there, like after January 01, me wondering if it's sort of, it's covering.
Oh wait, so not this one or this one. Okay, this one just shows the dates, that's all. So yeah, good call, Yoshi. No, not really.
Yeah, so this third graph that I'm showing you is Google Analytics this whole past year, from I think it's January or something, all the way till now. Now you may notice there's a big skyrocket right there, and then there's a drop, and that's because one of my content is related to Bible reading. And you can imagine how many people are searching for Bible reading at the beginning of the year, or even at the end of the year.
Oh, beginning of the year, I hadn't thought about that. You're right.
So you can kind of see that it's kind of falling back down, particularly because, I'm not sure people are still looking for that kind of content. So yeah, that's just showing you what I've done and kind of sharing my experience with you all and sort of the general idea of SEO. Now, granted, what I've experienced personally so far is blogging, but I have done things like YouTube, for instance. If you ever go to my YouTube channel, I have done some things, and of course I can't say I'm successful in that YouTube realm, but I did get back into posting some YouTube videos of my gameplay of Undertale, and I noticed that when I apply the same principles of SEO, I noticed that there's a skyrocket of viewers on my eight of my videos. So some of them did well. I would say most of them did really well. So even though I came back after however many years, from not pumping out videos.
All right. Yeah, I'm showing your YouTube page right now. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, that's all I have to say for what gives me the credential to talk about SEO, and hopefully you'll be like, oh, okay, then let's see what this guy has to say. Wow, I was telling Bruticus the other day, or just today, I have not. Oh, no, not Bruticus, Matthew, USA. I have nothing to say.
Yeah, you've just spoken for the last 20 minutes, nothing to say. Okay.
Any questions? Anything you want to clarify?
No, I appreciate that. That's a good point, because you're not just saying these are the things you learn. You've actually put these into application, into use, and you've seen the actual results of it. So therefore, you may not be like millions of followers, but you have seen an actual upward trend. Okay, on things, which shows that those things are actually working. I mean, obviously, long term, we'll see how it goes, right? But these are things that, I mean, one of the things that, I mean, I've had this discussion before in some respects, because I've seen this on some of the Twitters, right, where people are like, you know, Christians, you know, they're terrible at whatever, right? You know, terrible at marketing or whatever it is. I'm like, you know, maybe so, right? And maybe they are just trusting on God to let them explode with doing the actual work. But they're complaining also that Christians don't do the work, okay? They don't do the work. I'm like, well, some people just are hobbying it. They don't really, not looking to be at work. Others are like, yeah. But one of the things that also pops up, maybe we'll discuss it later on, is that how much, I mean, it's like we as Christians want to be successful. It's like when someone came in to comment my stream the other night was about like, you know, what about Christians who make money? I'm like, what's wrong with making money? Okay, I mean, I don't get it, right? But shouldn't Christians, you know, like, just give it all away? I'm like, well, you are an idiot if you think that everything is free, right? We'll give things away, but it's not all free. So it costs money to do these things, and so it's a combination here. So, you know, this is great to allow for traffic to get the word out. And basically, when it comes to sharing the gospel, you know, you want to have more people seeing it. If you can get it up there in people's views without having to be online, so to speak, right? But I guess maybe whether or not this is a biblical thing. I mean, I think that's one thing that Matthew, I think, asked a question on your other stream, was like, what references do you have to scripture? Which I know you mentioned one was Corinthians. So whether you eat or drink, or whatever you do all in the glory of God. So even SEO can be done that way too.
Correct. I believe that. I think like if you are into digital content creation, you should learn SEO. Now, not everyone is gonna be good at it. Not everyone needs to learn it if you're not planning to create content online. But if you are planning to create content online, or maybe not like become a full-time content creator, but maybe you want to dabble into it as a hobby initially, like just like however many of us do, right? Like we just want to dabble in it as a hobby, create some YouTube videos, make some blogs, do some podcasts. You want to learn some SEO. I think learning SEO is very, at least in my opinion, important, because you want your content to be discovered by people who are also interested in your content, right?
Yeah.
So,
fair enough. Okay, so let's get you a good introduction, and you did a good laying the groundwork about your evidence, you know, that you have something to talk about behind you. What's the next thing?
So the next thing is, what is SEO all about?
Sorry, Retro, but you just didn't use SEO. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is true. And that is true. He didn't use SEO.
You need to repent, Retro.
Yeah, no, I need to repent for imposing something.
You know what's funny is that, I mean, in some respects, the things that Christ said in the Bible, you know, there are the things that got people's notice. You know, I mean, the things he said and did got noticed, and it spread across the world. So while he may not have used SEO, okay, the Bible is a bunch of things that are pushing people to know more about Christ. So it tend to work. There are over 1 billion people who call themselves Christians, so, or maybe more than that.
Yeah. I mean, plus, if you read John chapter 7, you know how the Greeks, right? Like, they heard about, even the Greeks were wanting to see and learn about Jesus, or believing in Jesus, because word of mouth spread, and that's also a part of SEO. So, in some respect.
Yeah. So that's a fair statement, though. I mean, I know he's joking, okay, but it's like, yeah, I mean, Jesus did not necessarily yes SEO directly, okay, but the idea was that, you know, the things he said got attention. I mean, he was telling the truth to people. It wasn't like he was like trying to hide it, you know. And so he was, yeah. So wait, what? Oh, is this 1031 about SEO? Good to know. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all for the glory of God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, anyway,
so let's go back. Let's go back to
ahead.
the question: what is SEO all about? I think Ken, you already laid that out a little bit, but let me just kind of quote to you an author of a book called Product-Led SEO. I don't know the gender, but it's Ellie Schwartz. I don't know how to say that name.
L-E-E-L-E? E-L-L-E?
Yeah, I'll just copy and paste it here on chat.
Right,
so
Eli. That's a male name, I think.
Oh,
Eli.
Okay, I guess it's Eli. So Eli said, and I quote, SEO is simply the idea of optimizing for this reality in whatever form is necessary to improve the visibility prospects of a website. So he's talking about blogging. So, but I think that could also be applied to videos on YouTube or whatever platforms you plan to use. And I think it's important because SEO is all about how to make your content discoverable online. So that's the layman term. Because a lot of people want to be discovered, but they don't know how. Like, so they'll post things. They'll post their YouTube video and hope that it'll hit someone. Of course, it will eventually hit someone, but to what extent do you want to get the audience to watch your video? How many do you want? What is your term of quote-unquote success?
Well, if they make a number or a percent, I mean, it's like you're just seeing, like you say, you see your growth doubling every 6 months. That's the term of success, or dollar of value, like 100 subs or 5,000 followers, or I don't know.
Yeah,
matter, I guess it doesn't matter, really, is it? Or it's all of the above.
It doesn't really. It doesn't, and yet it does. It does sort of matter because you want to know if what you're doing is sort of working, and maybe sometimes it's patience. I'll get into that later on as well, like patience when you're creating content, because sometimes people may not always find your content immediately, but there are ways to produce content where it can be discovered. You see. And this is where I want to get into why is SEO important for Christians. Okay. I'm not sure if you have any other thoughts or questions you want to ask about what is SEO all about.
Not for me.
Okay. So now this is a little bit of a longer note. Let me just see if I can. Okay, let me just read right here because I have a lot of things to say. So why is SEO important for Christians? Why should we at least learn? At least for those of us who are in content creation. Whether or not you believe you're a content creator or not, I'm not going to get into all that discussion. But I'll just say that if you are using the internet, if you're using any sort of search engine, you're already dealing with SEO, whether you know it or not. So Amazon, for instance, has a search engine. Pinterest has a search engine. Bing, as one of you pointed out, has a search engine, right? Everything has a search engine these days.
Yeah.
And so ever since search engine was created, it became the most powerful tool on the internet because people are searching for something. That's what search engine is for. And it actually unleashed a new industry called SEO. It's actually an industry. People make billions and billions of dollars through SEO. Believe it or not, it's true. That's why a lot of big companies, they have websites, right?
They have multimedia, they have social media teams, they have people who are trying to get, especially those who matter the most about that kind of traffic,
Exactly. So Google, that's why I'm focusing on Google. I cannot get into all the little nitty-gritties of other search engines like Yahoo or Bing. So sorry to those of you who are looking into Bing. It's like, I want Epitome to talk about Bing. Sorry, don't know too much about Bing, but I would just say that Google has mastered, well, maybe not, maybe master is overstating, but let's just say Google is the most powerful search engine right now in the world. It is the most powerful. Almost everyone in the world is using Google. And arguably, I would say YouTube is the second because it's powered by Google, and plus, a lot of people are using YouTube for content and for entertainment. And so, I recognize there are other search engines out there, but just to give you TLDR, whether you're searching for, whenever you're searching something, like whatever that may be on Google, platforms are already using SEO to drive you to their content. So maybe if you want to pull up something Ken on your website, just to use an example. So since we're talking about Christian streamer conversation, I would say if you pull up Google right now, of course, don't doubt yourself. Just Google search engine. All right, so let's just think about Christian streamer conversation. Okay, so let's, for example, so a Christian wants to get into streaming. Okay, what are they going to look for? They're going to go for, okay, type computers for streaming.
Anyway, I'm looking at Christian streamer conversations.
Good.
Oh, so it pops up. It's first on the search engine, my YouTube channel. Okay.
That's because it's specifically for you. But if you look at, but if people are looking for like computers for streaming, type that one up.
Computers for streaming.
Okay. Right. Before you search it up, before you click enter.
I already enter. Sorry.
Okay. Just go back to the search.
Yep.
And type computer for streaming.
I did.
Just typed everything. Maybe just backspace that streaming, because there are other things that fill.
So I see your point. Yeah, computers for streaming on Twitch, TV, media, best computer. Yeah, it's a bunch of things there.
So you see right there, when some novice is searching for computers for streaming, Google already knows most likely what you might be looking for. Isn't that interesting? So it already automatically fills up the rest of your search query with various options. Oh, maybe this guy's looking for the best computer. Maybe this guy's looking for something specific on Twitch or whatever, right? So Google may already know what you may be looking for specifically.
Yeah, so that's what the Retro was saying, that I have my account going, so therefore it's finding my personalized results first. I should go in incognito mode.
Yeah, either you look in incognito mode, or
how do you go to incognito mode?
Are you using? That's okay. But if you look at computers for streaming on Twitch, right, it's already there. And depending on your search intent, which is something I will talk about, you will generally find laptops or PC for live streaming. Now, here's a question. Okay, if you type in computers for streaming on Twitch, just type that out.
Computers on Twitch.
Computer streaming on Twitch. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
Gives me PC for streaming on Twitch, good computer, PC requirements, best PC, cheap PC, what kind of computers? Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you can just go with computers for streaming on Twitch.
All right, here's Twitch comes up. Hardware recommendations, PC World.
Yeah.
Other things, you know.
And then you just scroll down.
Reddit.
And what else do you see?
Download videos, and then hardware recommendations.
What websites are there in front of you?
Oh, well, I mean, obviously we have Twitch, then we have PC World, then we have Best Buy, then we have some Quora.com, and then Reddit, then some videos, and then some either Amazon or Newegg for hardware stuff, and then you got Quora again, and then workstation specialist.
Yeah, that's good enough. And then you go back to the search query. Go back to the search. Maybe there's a little latency, so I'm not sure what can't really see what you're doing, but it's okay. So now you go to best laptop for streaming Twitch.
Best laptop for streaming Twitch. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Now, here's the question. Okay, if you look at the top few websites, okay, the top 3. Let's just say the top 3. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you see? What does it say?
3. Well, first off, it gives me hardware, and then it says wave.video, so blog. Best tops for live streaming from PC World, and then Quora, some discussions. Quora,
okay,
an
that's
OBS
good enough.
project, and Reddit.
Okay, so now it gets into this deeper question of SEO. Why are those content on the first page of Google? Why are they ranked number 1 or number 2 or number 3
Well,
or number 5?
it used to be a number of people who clicked on it, right? It used to be actual. And then also there's also talking about people, they would pay money to Google to have it be on top of the list. Especially if it's sponsored, you know?
Right, and it's actually not as simple as that. That's because at the very tip of the iceberg, these websites are already using SEO.
Well, so when you say that they're using SEO because there's a software they're using, or it's because they tagged their site with certain disclaimers and or tags, or I say that allows them to come pop up first.
Yeah, so this is where like particularly with blogging with SEO, which is the more the not so tip the iceberg, if you want to go deeper, and that's because they're ranked number 1 and 2 and 3 precisely because they have authority. They've been around for a long time, and there are a lot of other websites that are referencing these websites, saying, yeah, I recommend PC World to talk about this because they're PC World, for instance. They're a big website. Of course, they'll be ranked number 1. Of course, Google will recommend them. Yeah. Because people are searching for these things and they find what they need in PC World. Whereas if you perhaps scroll to the bottom, maybe depending on what it is. So if you scroll to the bottom, however far it is, they may be applying SEO. They're applying SEO, but the problem is PC World is a bigger website.
Well, so what's interesting is that for Google, at least, Joe, I don't really use Google as much. It says, first thing it tells me, it gives me the first thing is it's a wave.video blog, okay? And then it has people also asked. You know,
yes.
Before PC World pops up, people also ask, and there's other questions. So the first thing that Google's trying to do is like, maybe you meant this kind of question instead.
Yeah, so like when Google has that, this is where like not just the fact that maybe that's what you meant, but perhaps this is something that you may also be interested in.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
But okay, so I mean, again, these are all whole point of SEO is to get your stuff on the top of the list when someone types in, or actually no, it's beyond top of the list, right? It's also when you start typing in stuff. Like when I said earlier, Christian streamer conversation. That was supposed at first I had it there, right? But Christian McCaffrey, the streamer, now it says Christian streamers on Twitch, Christian streamer Thug Shaker, Christian Fortnite streamer, Christian Minecraft streamer, angry Christian streamer, Christian dance streamers. I mean, there's lots of there, right? So when I go conversations, I start typing conversations, and only pops up as conversations. So that's all it is. Okay, so it's just me. Okay.
It's just you. So you're number 1.
If I see, it becomes channels, and it becomes Christian children streaming, Christian cartoon streaming Christian Christmas music, I mean, Christian. So yeah, okay. So the big key thing, right? You're saying is that for the optimization is that as I'm typing in this thing in this bar, the first thing you want to see are words that will point to you.
Yep, at least hopefully it should.
I mean, so you made a comment. You said you some of your so you did some videos on Undertale.
Yep.
So if I type Undertale, first pops up is Undertale video game. Undertale yellow characters, yellow download wiki.
You have to use
mobile.
Well, it's YouTube, so you have to go on YouTube platform.
Oh, okay. So not here from Google, but on YouTube.
I barely hit halfway point.
Go. All right, let's do that. Keep going. Yeah, go.
So as Christians, having learned just the power of search engine, I think we should learn to leverage the search engine so that we can drive traffic to our Bible content or even gospel-centered content. I was talking to Bruticus about this and talks about can we use SEO to be able to share the gospel? Yeah, of course. It should. But here's the thing, which gets to the fifth one, why I think Christians, at least the Bible-believing Christians, solid ones, should at least try to fully understand SEO. Maybe not completely, but get it correct, okay? So what I mean by that is, oftentimes when people start making content, especially if they're making content like Christian related, if that's what they want to do, or just anything really general, they want to make content that I want to make. Like for instance, I want to make content that I want to make, and then hopefully that would hit someone, that would speak to someone, so that would drive traffic. Now I won't get into this topic of how to drive traffic into your website or to your videos. There are different ways of doing it, but the best way I believe is organic traffic, which I won't be able to uncover today.
Well, organic traffic is things that's raw and unfiltered, right? It's like it was not recommended by somebody else or by a search engine or something else. Just literally someone typing in something. Right? Don't you mean by that organic?
Yes, exactly. So if you go back to the slide of my chart there, very transparent with you all. These are all organic. At least I think it's mostly organic. And I never shared my post on YouTube I never shared my website besides on Twitch, I guess, a little bit. But other than that, I never post any updates on my Facebook, on Twitter.
In other words, you didn't advertise it. You didn't advertise it. So organic means that someone literally found it naturally. Not naturally, but just without any help, I'd say.
Without any help. So I did not post my content, my website, or every post I posted. I did not post it on social media at all. And that's the best way to drive traffic, I think. Again, there are different strategies. So if I did somehow post something, I publish an article and I post it onto social media, it's only relevant for like a certain amount of time. The traffic can just go up and then drop back down immediately, and then it will go up and drop back down immediately if I have new content. But what is ideal is that you want to have organic traffic, because that will be more sustaining in the future, right? It will just keep climbing slowly up. I think that's what I see here personally. So
seems SEO could be a great thing, but there's a danger in directing traffic to content creators who are immature or even true. That's a risk, right? I mean, that's how.
So right now, I guess like a lot of Christians. We can go back to where we are in your slide. Majority of us Christians who start out in content creation. Now, I'm not talking about Twitch here, okay? I'm not talking about Twitch here because Twitch is a whole different ballgame. But I think a lot of Christians who start out on content creation, we don't start out with a massive following or we're not influential Christians in the Christian world, right? None of us are Grace to You like John MacArthur. None of us are like the people in Desiring God, which is John Piper's ministry. None of us are R.C. Sproul with his Ligonier ministry. Now, whether you like this platform or not, none of us are part of the Gospel Coalition. Or none of us are Tim Challies, where they can just write whatever they want and they'll still get traffic no matter what. None of us are in that position. But yet, so many times I've seen how many of us just want to start something by just discovering whatever we like and hoping that people will discover content. However, generally, when you start doing that, yeah, maybe some people, unless you share with your parents or your family members, not many folks will discover you. Maybe you have like 5 or maybe 5-ish here and there.
Well, I mean, yeah, I agree. So wait a minute, so I'm trying to follow through a little bit because you talk about organic traffic is best because it's new, no one ever found it, right? So, but you're talking about also the search, your SEO, whatever you're doing to do SEO, has to be able to be organically picked up, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, but you're in a sense, I mean, it won't be true organic, and that's not really organic because you still preferenced it somehow for someone to find it, okay? You kind of give them a little hint, you didn't put it on your Twitter, okay? But you kind of like gave some algorithm push here. They're like, hey, organically find this guy,
Yeah, and that's precisely in that. I think that's what, if I understand what you're saying, is yeah, Google algorithm recommended this blog post that I wrote to someone who is searching for something related to that blog post, and so that's what happens. And that's actually organic traffic. That's not through social media. Generally, the best, I think, in my opinion, there are debates among SEO experts on how to get traffic. What's the best way to get traffic? Nothing, by the way, nothing wrong with using social media. Nothing wrong at all. But in the long run, you generally want organic traffic as much as you can, and you want to have, and you want to do that so that in the long term, hopefully it will keep growing steadily, instead of just going up and then down because you share that post for that 1 week and then it goes up again.
Well,
so.
No, I mean, and I can see the benefit of organic traffic because you don't have to spend the time and effort pushing, tweeting and posting and just like getting it out there and trying to get people to see what's going on. You just want people to just go there so you can spend your time doing other things. If all you're doing is spending your time is pushing, or trying to get traffic to your site, then you're spending time doing that. Now, mind you, they did in some of the early days when I got into Twitch, right? They say, well, one of the ways you can learn to do this, right, is literally go to someone's stream, start watching them, okay, or go to someone's YouTube channel and watch their videos and comment on them. It's a great way to be known, and slowly maybe others will see you and they go, oh, who's this guy, right? And they go off to you to find it, right? But this way you're talking about, well, okay, that is time. Yes, not saying it's a waste of time, but if you really want to spend more time doing what you need to do for your content, do this work, okay, for your when you put your videos and or stuff out there for the SEO, and then you can kind of sit back a little bit and not do as much.
Mm-hmm. So when I uploaded Undertale gameplay, I mean, the only time I talked about it was on my Twitch. And of course I tell my wife, and yet I didn't post anything on Twitter. I don't remember ever posting anything on Twitter. I only posted something on Twitter only after I finished my whole entire Undertale gameplay. But in the meantime, when I applied the SEO, I'm like, oh, I got at least 100 or 200 views. I'm like, that's surprising. I didn't expect that. So to me, that was very good already. So
I'm pulling it up right now. So I typed in Undertale gameplay. Undertale goes to song, theme song choice, and then fourth one says gameplay, no commentary. So I would go to that one, just check it out and see what's there. So we have this guy, Havoc the Raven, Asmo Boy, full gameplays, so there's people here doing no commentary, just playing it, right? But I'm like, well, I don't want no commentary. I want to hear it. Let's go to get rid of the commentary. Let's go just gameplay. Then I have Markiplier, who's been playing it. So 8 years ago. Okay. And then, oh my gosh, Markiplier. Of course, he's got so much number. That's why. And then there's Jacksepticeye. Okay, fine, whatever. Okay. And then comes. These are all 8 years old, and so I'm like, well, do I want to watch someone who spent that much time, 8 years ago? Or I scroll down to some shorts here, and then there's some other 6 years, 8 years, 8-bit Ryan. Oh my gosh, actually a retro fan. But
Yeah,
PewDiePie did it. Okay, he's also some things there too. So those are all big name people there. I've not seen yours popping up at this point right now.
Yeah, and the reason is because I have a different strategy
Okay, that's a good point.
for how I did Undertale. So I apply a very different strategy. So I did not use any sort of, well, at least for that one. I'm not sure how much I want to get into it because I have so much stuff I want to say.
Okay, no, go, keep moving on. So I'm sorry. Yeah, this is this is the highlights. This is the starting point. Okay, more can be done later. Okay, but we just want to, like Pimmy says, he's got hours worth of talking, but we don't have hours worth of time. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm only in beginning my second page. I have 4 pages.
no problem.
So, no problem. I mean, if you guys are enjoying the content, please hit follow then. So follow Kenneth then, or sub to him.
Or Epitimy, follow Epitimy.
No, you get all the. Well, I don't know what to say, but
God gets all the glory.
God gets all the glory. Okay, so yeah, what was I saying? We got lost track. So many of us want to start by discussing whatever or talking about whatever we like and hoping that people will discover us. But oftentimes people don't discover us, at least not a whole lot as we want to. But when it comes to YouTube or even just blogging, again, I'm more the blogging type, so it may be different for everybody. When it comes to blogging or just writing content, you have to give people a reason why they should listen to you. And that generally takes a long time to develop. So you're developing trust from the people. And for Google algorithm, they want to make sure that you are the type that has authority, because authority matters on content creation. You want to make sure that you want to make sure that you can be trusted with whatever content you're creating. Imagine like I started making videos about let's say about health, right? Health conditions, medicines. I have, and like if you plan to go through that route, Google, I'm not sure if YouTube does it, but I think Google will have to make sure that you're credentialed to talk about these topics because it's important, right? So because if imagine someone random just wants to talk about health, no expertise, no degree whatsoever, that can be a scary thing. That's why Google will not recommend that kind of content.
True, except sometimes even the experts are scary to listen to.
I know
either. So
I know, but
I get your point though. Yeah, that's where you as a consumer wants to make sure whenever I go, like say I do on Google searching online, right? When I pull up like the Mayo Clinic or the Cleveland Clinic, I go, those are the reputable places. I'm going to go to that. Okay, I'm not going to go to Joe Knows Medicine.
That's right. So, any questions of why I think, it's not really a question. So I just cover why I believe solid Bible Christians are not doing it correctly, or at least not to the fullest extent.
Yeah.
Because they want, sometimes we think, if these websites are doing it, that makes me easy for me. So, but
I mean, it's one of the things like again, when I talk about the different people on Twitch who I don't necessarily like, or Twitter, right? I didn't like their attitude, right? It seems like more negative, but it's like anything you do. If you want to, if you God did not make work a sin. It came before the fall, and so therefore you have to work at it. You just can't let it come to you. And mind you, salvation is not by works, it is by grace alone, okay, through faith alone, through Christ alone. But it doesn't mean then that, like in James, we don't just sit on our laurels and do nothing, okay? Because if you don't do anything, then maybe your faith really isn't a faith. So if you go, it's like anything you do in life. I mean, I'm an aeronautical engineer by day, and therefore I better do my job. I better do it well. And like you said, when you quoted from 1 Corinthians, always do it for God. You know, and so that's same with this one. It's like if you really want to be a good streamer and sharing the gospel and getting the biblical notes out to people, right? You need to put some extra work into it. I mean, that's why I'm doing this show, okay? So how much work? I mean, I put some effort into the show. I put some effort into the notes I put together the show. And obviously I'm communicating offline to different things. You put some things in the show too. So we actually did some work to try to share this and get it out there. So that's why even SEO makes sense. I haven't done SEO. That's why I'm learning, trying to listen and hear things. So I want to do the same thing because it's an extra thing I want to do to get the gospel spread. That's my main. I don't care if I blow up. I don't care if my name is ever known. I just want the name of Jesus known and people to give their lives to Christ.
So yeah, so now we can proceed towards, this is the longest point, it's the longest part of this whole stream. So I'm gonna offer you guys some principles of SEO, very tip of the iceberg. There can be each section can be, each principle can be expounded upon very very deeply. So the first principle that maybe you can type it as well is very important. First principle of SEO is you need to know first your niche or your niche and topical authority.
Oh, okay. It's topical. Okay. That's a good point because when I started doing the Christian streamer conversations, I made a note of the fact that I'm over 1,000 followers on Twitch. I'm not exploded. I don't do this on full time, right? So therefore, like, what is my? But I talk about my topical authority that I know something, and I may not be big, but I'm going to at least pass to you what I've learned. But I've given the caveat that I'm not necessarily the greatest guy to listen to.
And I'll explain what I mean by topical authority.
Sorry, ridiculous. Wait, we're just now getting to the long part.
Yes. I'm sorry, guys. Like, this is just, well, no, I'm not sorry, but this, I took some time. It is a lot. I mean, I tell you, I was saying that we're gonna be sitting here for a while. Well, no, I didn't say it. I was trying to keep it an hour, but then I guess we're over an hour.
No, we're fine. Keep going. I mean, 2 hours would be good range there.
Okay, so yeah, I spent some time thinking about what I should share. So again, tip of the iceberg, just letting you guys know. I cannot cover everything, but I think the first thing you need to ask is you need to know is your niche. Now, what do I mean your niche, right? Or your niche? Something,
niche, yeah.
Something how do I say it? I didn't write down the definitions, but it's just something a topic or a thing that you want to focus on doing. So for instance, you want to focus on, let's say, Fortnite, right? Maybe Fortnite is your niche, but there's gonna be a lot of varieties in how you can be an authoritative person with Fortnite. Okay.
Well, I mean, so people say all the time, like, when you're streaming, if you're doing something you don't like to do, they'll know it. Okay, so there, it's gotta be something you want to do. But having a niche, by the way, can provide you that opportunity that you are alone and be the first one. May not be. As we just saw earlier, in Undertale is a game that EpiTimmy has on his YouTube channel, been played by others. It's not a new game, right? So, but you could argue that, his niche is he's playing this game now, 8 years later. I mean, also EpiTimmy plays all these Jump King and other games. I'm like, oh my gosh, right? So he loves torture. Well, that's his niche, okay? Like the torture game, playing Resident Evil 4. So he's a torturer kind of guy,
Yeah, maybe.
That's his niche.
Yeah, something. So yeah, finding your niche. Okay. There are two. There's a both things you gotta keep in mind about finding your niche. First, as Ken already alluded to, you want to find something that you enjoy, that you're passionate about. Okay. And yet, you want to have a little bit of expertise. Now, when I say expertise, now aside from the medical world, when I say expertise, I don't mean you be an absolute expert on it. And what I mean by that is just having sufficient knowledge and sufficient experience with that topic that you're focusing on. So for instance, like let's just say for me, right, my niche is music, right? And maybe if I want to be, but music is also a very broad niche. Should I say niche or niche? I don't know which one, but I've been saying niche for a while. It's a very broad niche, and so you want to be more focused on a specific within the music. Okay, what kind of music? Because that's very broad. Let's just say guitar, right? Okay, let's be even. Are we talking about acoustic guitar or are we talking about electric guitar? Okay, let's get even more specific. Electric guitar, right? I'm like, oh, okay, so you want to focus on electric guitar because you love electric guitar and you have experience with electric guitar. So that's what I mean. You love what you love electric guitar, and yet you also have some experience in it. Now that's just an example, okay? So it's a balance. You need both. It shouldn't be either or. So if that happens, then here is something to consider, where you start making content that you're interested in, only you're interested in, but then it's like, yeah, I'm interested in making content about, let's just say, webcams. I mean, I have a webcam, but then I don't know too much about webcams. I don't know what to talk about or have any, I don't know all the details of the specs.
Yeah.
Or second, you make content that you only know about, but you just don't like doing it. You're not. That doesn't give you sort of zeal or passion to do it, because it just doesn't interest you. Now I'm not sure about you, Ken. You are also an engineer. I'm not sure if you like it or not, but
I've been doing it for almost 38 years. Yeah, I do like it.
Okay, then you have an interesting advantage to that. So, yeah. Which gives you that authority, right? If you produce a lot of content surrounding that topic.
Yeah, authority, but also the authority comes from my experience. And like you said, experience in the niche is good, okay? You may not be you may not be a rocket scientist, right? But if you have enough knowledge about rockets, because you've been reading about it and you've been watching studying about it, you may not have gone to become an engineer, but you know about rockets and you still have a passion there. You can talk about it. Everybody's going to know that, and that you've already admitted it. Like, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I have an interest in this, and this is where I've seen, and this is why I enjoy it, and this is that's the passion of it, So Bruticus asked a question: can expertise be translated as passionate? So I thought they were two separate things. Okay.
I need to think more about it, but my gut reaction was, can expertise be translated into passion? It could. Maybe
it could be. I get that point. Yeah.
You could. Maybe you want to try out something. You want to try out. Let's just say, like for instance, this is for example for me, right? Let's just say my niche is mouse pads. Now, I don't care about mouse pads for the life of me. Fuzz cares about mouse pads for some reason. So what if let's just look into mouse pads to see if I like it or not. That is possible. It can eventually turn into a passion, but it may not be immediately, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking, like, it can be. Expertise isn't necessarily a passion. I say that because of the fact that there are people who probably are experts at something in their job, right? But they don't have a passion for it. They're like, I know about this. But then, like I said, I've been an engineer for 38 years because I had a passion to understand it, and I gained an expertise, so I had a passion in it. But did my passion equal expertise? No. It's become that way, I guess, in some respects.
Yeah. So let's just say, Bruticus, right? Let's just say for me, I don't know anything about Shure SM7B. It's a very famous microphone for content creation, right? Let's just say you try to do both, right? Or let's just say I'm passionate about it. It's like, yeah, I want to talk about Shure because that microphone is crazy good. But I'm like, I don't know anything about this. Or maybe Veruca, since you own one, maybe you can talk a lot more about Shure SM7B than I do, right? Maybe you're not interested. Maybe in the beginning, maybe you are, but it's like, yeah, I want to talk about Shure SM7B. And then eventually, but then you're like, oh, I'm not really interested, but since I already own it, I know something about it, let's see if I'll become interested in it in the future. That's
so
possible.
Yes, I mean, Veruca says, yeah, your niche is something you can be passionate about as being, I guess what I mean is, can your niche be something you're passionate about? Yes.
Yes.
As opposed to an expertise? Yes. But typically your passion, if you don't have a certain amount of expertise or at least some knowledge about it, it'll come across as being it's just, well, okay, that's good. I guess you can be passionate without the expertise and you show that passion, but then people are going like, well, you might have like a one-trick pony. You don't have the knowledge I'm looking for. I'm gonna go to a different channel. You may have passion, but you have no expertise. Well, the other guy is so droll, but he has 50 years in the microphone industry, and he can tell you the best microphones around because he's tested them all. I don't necessarily sound very passionate, but I know what I'm talking about. I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing about which I'll get into it very soon.
Taylor's right. Sorry, people will join to see someone learning the learning journey. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get to why I think passion and expertise are important in just a little bit. And so now you also want to make sure your niche. You want to make sure that there's a quote-unquote market for the
so this is number two. Number one was know your niche and topical authority. Number two.
It's still within the same.
Okay, so say why not market?
Because when you're looking for a niche, right?
Okay.
Or niche, right? You want to make sure there's a market for the thing that you're passionate about and have expertise in. Let's just say like you want to focus on, I don't know. You want to find you find a niche that it's like, yeah, I want to talk about this one, but no one in the world is looking for that thing. No one cares about that thing. Then you found a wrong niche.
Well, I mean, but you could make that a niche that nobody knows about and turn it into a niche that some people know about. You can be the first person, okay? Well, not really.
That's true. You can be the first person. It's just that it's less likely. It's less likely to happen unless there's a big news media outlet that picks up the storm.
Yeah, true.
Of that specific topic.
That's true, because no one's going to look for it. I mean, that's where that has to be advertised, because no one's going to know about it. That's why I generally don't mind having advertisements running on my different channels, because I learn new products all the time. I want to know that. I wouldn't have organically have found that because I wouldn't have known about it. Okay. So know the market for your niche. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, know the market, quote unquote. So now, what do I mean by topical authority?
What's experience, right?
Yes, but there's a deeper level to it.
Okay.
So and I'll explain it very soon. So to just put it in Twitch content, in the Twitch world, should a streamer be a variety streamer? A variety streamer, you get to play everything you want to play or try out different things as a streamer. Quite in fact, unless you are a very influential streamer, it's very difficult actually to be a variety streamer. Particular because you're playing one game that people are looking for. It's like, oh yeah, I followed you for this game, and then the next day you start playing another game. It's like, oh wait, I follow you for this game. Then now you're playing something different. Oh, you're only playing that thing on Monday. Then okay, I'll only check you out on Monday, I guess. And then on Tuesday you start playing Fortnite, and then Wednesday you start playing Minecraft, and then Thursday you start playing this and that. People are going to start following you for only a little bit, and then they realize, oh, okay, you're playing something different. Unless you have a very charismatic personality.
Thank you for describing me, okay?
Unless you have a very charismatic.
And I do not have a very charismatic personality, so you just described me, so I suck. Okay, good.
I wasn't talking about you.
No, but that is the question I've asked myself, okay? There are those who become big because they concentrate on one game alone and become very good at it to the point where people recognize him or her and they keep following that, so.
Yeah. So it's other than that, variety streaming is actually not easy. I mean, generally you want to try to focus on one game, generally speaking, and of course you can make some exceptions here and there. But similarly, it's like Christians, right? Blogging or even making videos on YouTube, almost about everything. They want to write everything. They want to make videos about everything under this. Well, not everything under the sun, but just very different varieties. However, generally, I would not suggest being a variety content creator at the beginning. It's kind of like, because you're not a gospel coalition. You're not Desiring God. You're not a Ligonier Ministries, as Matt Chandler would say. You're not David. I'm not sure if you get the joke, but anyways,
King David,
because those websites, Desiring God, they can just write whatever they want because people know, because Desiring God is a very reputable website.
It had
right?
to get the reputation first. Okay?
Exactly. So, but a lot of people, like average Joe, just like you and me, nobody knows us, nobody cares about us. We just think that we want to make content about everything that we're interested in. However, it's best to at least focus on creating content on one specific topic. And from that specific topic, you create other subtopics related to the main topic. So just to kind of give you an example, at least from my personal experience with blogging, I have found some success on my website. Why? Because I started focusing more on Bible translations and Bible reading on my website. When I started writing my blog, I thought about being the guy who provides all these Bible information and answers for people who are looking for those variety of topics. I thought about being the guy who focuses on the niche of what does the Bible say about this and that. What does the Bible say about this and that, and then this and that and this that. Yeah. But as I started blogging, I somehow found success in doing Bible translations and Bible reading. And so that's how I adapted. So this is where you learn about pivoting, right? Okay, instead of focusing on that, because when I tried doing all those other things, I wasn't getting much traffic. I mean, there's some, like maybe a trickling here and there, but it's not as substantial as like Bible translation, Bible reading, where I'm getting at least 1,000 people coming to my website. So I adapted and I try to shift my focus to doing just those two topics: Bible reading, Bible translations. Yeah. And if you know me, I'm a pastor. I know these topics pretty well. Well, I'm not an expert on Bible translation. I'm not like a translator myself, but I know enough, right? So then I venture into different titles that I could write about regarding Bible translation. So I wrote things like how to choose Bible translations. Second, best Bible translations. Third, Bible translations to avoid. Fourth, most popular Bible translations, or in that content, it could be the Bible translations that is getting the best selling. And so what I mean by topical authority is that what I learned is that you don't want to just make one content on Bible translations. Try to talk a lot more about it, and so that Google will start to recognize, wow, EpiTimmy, you're talking so much about Bible translations, and people are coming to your website to learn about Bible translations. And so that indicates, the Google algorithm, that okay, let's bump EpiTimmy's website up to page 1 or something on Google because he knows what he's talking about. So that's what I mean by topical authority. You want to talk about that topic as many things as you can, okay? So I'll get into some specifics later on. Oh my goodness.
So Lucas says, is SEO beneficial for the Twitch streamer versus YouTube versus writing like a blog? seems like it would be more beneficial for a YouTube channel or a blogger.
Yeah, I'll get into that is like at the very end where I'm going to make a general comment on SEO on different platforms.
So you were doing SEO principles. I don't know if we got off topic or not. SEO principles. Gate number 1 was know your niche and topical authority. So all these little bullet points below that are things that are part of that number 1.
Yes, so far.
We talked about topical authority. You said that's going to be something later. So.
And so in the future, when it comes to Bible translation, I could write about these topics, for example. Why are there so many Bible translations? I can certainly explain that. Second, easy to read Bible translations. I can talk about that. Or third, translation philosophies like word for word Bible translations, or literal translations. So over time, you start to develop more and more content surrounding this cluster of topics that is related to Bible translations. So that's what I mean by topical authority. So, and choosing your niche.
Okay. Know when to pivot. So.
And know when to pivot. I'm not sure if I will say it later on, but I'll say it later. So the second principle so that's the first principle, your niche and topical authority. The second one is, what is the search intent of the niche? What is the search intent of the niche? So this is where you need to understand and analyze human behaviors through search engines. And you need to understand this thing called the search behind the search. Meaning, what does someone need? And not only that, what you need to also know is people's search is the intention of the human mind. When you look at how people search things, you can sort of read people's minds in some sense. And when you understand search intent, your job is to provide a solution to the searcher's problems or questions. I'll get to some examples very soon, so just bear with me for a bit. And that's why websites, a Christian website like .questions.org is very successful, because they answer people's questions. They provide solutions to people's questions. And not only that, they got into content creation. Their website got into content creation very early in the game. I think even before 2010. And it remains one of the top Christian websites in the whole world. At least I think in the whole world. Because they are fulfilling people's search intent.
So you're saying so search to be the solution to the person's problem.
Yeah, your job is to provide whatever niche you're getting into. Your job is to provide a solution to the searcher's problems or questions. So let's just say, going back to electric guitar, right? How to tune an electric guitar. Or another topic is how to choose the best electric guitar. People are searching for those things. And whatever content you are making, you want to fulfill and satisfy that person's search intent. So let's get into some examples here. Very specific examples that I prepared. You have to pull up your Google again. Let's do some a little bit of analytic here.
What I put it at? That's YouTube. Oh, Google. That's right. I don't like Google. But it's causing me problems, right? So it's like, because it's like logged into my Google account, and like, it's like Google. I use Brave, that's why. So here's Google. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Let's see if I can. Yeah, because I'm watching your stream and then I'm trying to talk to you, so there's a little bit of latency.
Well, I did it in Discord also, the more live version of it. My picture.
There
is? See my.
Oh, there is. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, good. Sorry.
Just add it.
Okay, so since we're talking about Christian streamer conversation, let's just use this as an example. And this example is inspired by Bruticus. Type in how to share the gospel. Okay, stop right there.
The stranger in 1 minute with a child, with a Muslim, with someone who is dying, with someone in Spanish, with a Catholic in 30 seconds.
Okay, and then now, just press enter. Now I want you to kind of examine the first 5 websites that come up. So you have to focus on the.
Well, nowadays these engines have this like what's it called, like aggravator or not aggravator, it pulls things together, right? So it shows here 5 steps, right? And then the first one is focus on the family. And then it says people also ask these questions. Then it goes
don't worry about those ones.
Then it goes to Billy Graham.
Billy Graham sharing.
Then it goes to several videos, YouTube videos. Then the next website is daretosshare.org.
So just focus on the headline. The headline is
learn how to share the gospel with confidence.
Learn how to share the gospel with confidence.
Back up. So focus on the family was share the gospel. Focus on the family. Billy Graham was sharing your faith 101. Learn how to share the gospel with confidence. How to share the gospel with my family and friends without something. So long title. Yeah,
that's just to let you know, big tip, when you see something get cut off, that's bad SEO. So
all right, and then we have how do I share the gospel? Please read below. This is off of Reddit. And then we have share the gospel in 4 simple steps.
Yes.
All of them have the word gospel in it. Well, no, that's not true. The Billy Graham one just says sharing your faith.
Yeah, so there's a little subtlety right there.
Yeah.
So notice okay, I'm not sure which one I use. But if you keep going down, you have share the gospel and the gospel coalition, share the gospel in less than 3 minutes.
Yep, gospel coalition, there are.
I want you to notice some extra words they add in there. Okay. So for instance, gospel coalition, they added in 3 minutes or less.
Right.
And then if you keep going, I'm not sure if you keep going up or something.
Or up or down, because.
Okay, you can keep going down.
How to share the gospel without being weird or pushy.
And then
10 ways to respectfully share the gospel.
Okay, yeah. I want you to see if you can go all the way back up. Because I guess the way I looked at it, when I did my research first, it was a little bit different, research intent, but it's okay. So what you notice is that, if you look at focus on the family, even the top part, what they recommend is how to share the gospel, 5 easy steps.
Yeah,
now,
but
this didn't
come from Focus on the Family, did it? It came from an aggregator. It added things together if they found some other things, right?
Yeah, but that's also under Focus on the Family. I think that's the case.
No.
Yeah, right there.
Pray, relationship, share your personal story.
Yeah, it's right there. So
interesting.
Even just looking at this one, what are some extra words you notice here? How to share the gospel?
Well, the actually 5 easy steps. Easy.
Okay, 5 easy steps.
Keyword is easy. Small number and easy.
And
a number, okay? Everyone likes to have a step. Hey, like 5-point plan or a 10-point plan, or
And there are actually what you call trigger words. Now, why is Google recommending Focus on the Family on the top, right? My theory is that, or at least my analysis, is that people are looking for steps, not just steps, but easy steps.
Yeah.
These are trigger. These are. And so you know what I'm saying, right?
But I get that point. So wait on, but this actual link here is live it, post, share the gospel. So the actual title doesn't say, but you're saying somewhere they had to put something on here to make it go, because when it goes down here to the steps, right? it's embedded in their article, 5 easy steps. But somehow they force Google to show this first in the steps, and then basically, yeah, okay.
Right, that's part of the deeper SEO.
Okay.
So,
so easy steps, right? Because everyone wants steps, right? Like Teo says, top 10 lists on YouTube. Easy steps, okay? Because one by Billy Graham was just sharing your faith 101.
And that's generally because Billy Graham's evangelistic.
Yeah.
That's their so-called niche. Let's just put it that way.
Right.
So my analysis that people are looking for easy steps because that is the trigger word. Because whenever people are searching for something, the reason why Google is recommending that is because people are already looking for steps that are easy. Now, however many steps, I don't know, but it seems like Google wants to recommend focus on the family. Focus on the family to people who are looking for that topic, and that's because Christians, I would assume, Christians are already looking for steps. Christians are looking for steps to learn how to share the gospel, not just in 5 easy steps, but in other parts. I would say they want to learn how to share the gospel fast. That's why Gospel Coalition was saying 3 minutes or less.
So it's a trigger word, okay? And certain trigger words that get you like I said, provide a solution to the person's problems or questions. And so, Kennethan's video says 5 easy steps to win Undertale, right? Or I'd be like Undertale, winning in 5 easy steps. That would probably go right to the top. Like, okay, yeah, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you could do that if you provide that kind of content, or even be able to do that. So why does this matter? Very quickly, I'll just say this. Why does this matter is because once the first step you want to always take is look at Google or even look at YouTube. I'll suggest Google for now. Is because it informs how you will produce your next content. If you're planning to write content or make content videos on how to share the gospel, that actually gives you an idea of what people are actually searching for. So maybe Bruticus, because maybe Bruticus is like, oh yeah, I want to teach people how to share the gospel. Okay, if you just have a title saying how to share the gospel, well, you got to give them more, right? It satisfies the search query. So, and so like maybe Bruticus can say, oh, how to share the gospel. You can say the ultimate guide or easy guide.
Right, but that's not just the label that he's put on the title of whatever he's doing, but he's literally like his content was created around that.
Exactly. You of course, no clickbaity. You don't want to clickbait. If you say 5 easy steps on how to share the gospel, but in your content you gave an app like 10 steps. They're not even just easy steps. They're 10 complicated steps. So you're not satisfying the search intent. You're not answering people's question in the first place. That's why it matters. So that would inform how you create your next content. That's the strategy. And so like for instance, another suggestion I could say is if you go back to Google, you could consider writing this content like how to share the gospel with unbelievers in 2 minutes. So you know the trigger words, right? Unbelievers, or maybe Muslims. Maybe that could also be another trigger word. How to share the gospel with Muslims in 2 minutes. Or maybe the next thing you can do is how to share the gospel with your child. 1 easy step or 3 simple steps.
Also, and I get that, just good. So, but there are, I think you're going to mention it later on, maybe not tonight, but the fact that there are applications and websites that actually will do that for you. They will show you what, like type their thing in, and well, that's great, but here's some ideas of making it better that can be seen better. I think I saw Super Shadow do that one time. That's why I'm like, I think it's out there.
Right, and one of the things I'm not going to talk about tonight, I don't think, is because it's a very complicated topic within SEO, is dealing with competitors, because they're
Yeah.
Of course, how many people are creating content surrounding the topic of how to share the gospel, right? How many people are searching for that? Tons of people are searching for that. Tons of websites, tons of YouTube videos are already making that videos, those content. And so you have to understand that you do have competitors. Of course, they're brothers and sisters, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So why is it important to know search intent? It's because you want to provide the best answer.
Take a minute to be rated. They're not going to hear you. You wanna be where you can see the troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name. Thank you, Warrior of Light, for the raid. Welcome everybody here. We are having a conversation with EpiTimmy about SEO. No, you didn't know. That's fine. Yeah, you entered, but we paused. That's fine. You're good. So that's the thing about videos. And yeah, if I edit this thing, I can always fix it in post. So welcome. All right. So EpiTimmy, where were you?
I'll just go back. So why search intent is important is because why search intent is important is because you want to provide the best answer to someone's search query. And when someone when someone finds your content should satisfy the searcher's intent as much as possible. So let's just say because you want to create a 3-step process of how to share the gospel with someone, right? And of course, you have to decide on how you make that content. I'm not there to tell you how to make that content and what is your unique take on it. But you want to, as best as you can, be able to satisfy that person's search query. Now, this gets into very deeper SEO within blogging, just to kind of give you a hint, or no, that's not a hint. A $1 million answer. So if recently Google updated their algorithm, and before, years ago, or even last year or 2 years ago, Google will actually reward a website if you're able to keep the viewers or readers on your website as long as possible. That's no longer the case in Google update algorithm. Instead, what Google cares about now is not how long a person is on your website for. What they care about now is does your website, does your content satisfy the search query? And sometimes, like in particularly with food recipes, right? Because they have an idea of they want the readers or searchers to be in your website as long as possible, and so they so that they give the answer all the way at the bottom of the website of the article.
I've seen it before too.
And so that's often happens with food recipe, right? They give you a bunch of all these things.
Yeah, they do. I've scrolled down to where they actually is the recipe. I'm like, what's the recipe? It's like, yeah, go read all this. I go, no, I just gonna scroll down to the bottom. I don't even read it. Okay, so.
Yeah. So you feel that too, right? And so Google has changed the game with algorithm just to kind of give you $1 million information, and that is it's no longer how long the person is in your website for, but rather does your website or your blog post or whatever answer that person's question, especially immediately. And that's why, like,
okay, well, here's one. It says the one here says jump to recipe, so some provide you to jump, right? Never mind. Go ahead. Sorry.
And that's why, like, for me, whenever I'm writing my own my blog posts, I give people's answers immediately at the top of the page, and then plus satisfying the person's journey. So this is what you call search journey in blogging. But if they come out of your website and they start to look at another answer on another blog post, then that may mean, according to Google algorithm, that may mean that your blog didn't answer that person's query. It really depends, right? There's nuance. Like I said, there are nuances. Nothing is always cut and dry with SEO. So maybe that person wants to learn more about the website or learn more about how to share the gospel, for instance. So instead of just going with your answer, so there are nuances. Anyways, that is just what I want to share with you regarding Google's algorithm updates.
So, Brooke made a comment that says, so for blogging, longer articles aren't the game anymore.
It really depends. It's not the main thing anymore. But I still do add a lot of information, but except that I want to give people's answer immediately, and then the rest of them, it would just be a long article.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this,
Right.
and so like in the blogging world, I'm getting carried away here. In the blogging world, people talk about this idea called the skyscraper tactic. Skyscraper tactic. So what that means is, your competitor has wrote 2,000 words on this topic of how to share the gospel. Just use that as an example. The skyscraper technique is you want to build a higher skyscraper than this 2,000 word article. And so you write even more words and more content from 2,000 words to maybe not to 4,000 words. And so that Google may reward you. I don't think there are debates of whether or not that still works.
Yeah.
There are debates whether or not that still works. I'm not too sure myself. I'm not an expert on this. But that used to be the case. That was a tactic. Write as much as you can, longer than all your competitors. And so, okay, so going back to the search intent, bottom line is if you miss search intent, people may not find your content.
They get missed what?
If you miss people's search intent, the searcher's intent, they're not gonna care about your content as much.
They won't care about your content.
Or maybe they don't even want to find you. Or maybe in Google's eyes, they don't think your content is good enough. People will not be able to find you. So you have to understand search intents, and that is something you need to figure out.
So, I mean, in some respects, the fact that they miss you, they're not going to find you. So, now, if they happen to do find you, everybody's like, well, but why didn't I find you? Why are you not, But then you can read the greatest article ever and go, that's exactly what I wanted. It was terrible. I couldn't find it directly. And I don't know.
Well, Google will not get rid of your article. They'll bump you down in ranking. So
Well, it won't be seen as much. I get that part.
So usually, there's usually, let's say there was a. Okay, I'm getting carried away. I don't want to get carried away.
Fine. Because Teo says, I feel like Google used to give me much better results when it was younger. Now I feel like I get directed to content farms half the time.
True.
Warrior says, I wish you can Google it by date. Most articles are so old. Yeah, that's a good point too. Well, you can't do some dates. I always put dates in at times.
Yeah, so for my blog post, if you actually look at my blog post, I always put in the date, as in my headline, as 2024. So for instance, I'm throwing out random things in my head. How to read the Bible in 2024.
Oh yeah.
Or how to choose the most accurate Bible translation in 2024. So that is the best.
Let's check the latest blog post. Let's see what he's written here. Best order to read the New Testament for beginners, 2024. Top 10 most popular authorizations for beginners in 2024. 15 best premium Bibles you should invest in 2024. Okay.
Yeah, let's not read that because we only got 2 points. We have 3 principles. 3 principles. Okay.
All right, so number 3 now? You're going 3?
Yeah, I'm going number 3. Let's just
number 3. All right, here we go.
Oh my goodness, it's been an hour and 40 minutes. There's a lot of content right there.
Well, how many principles do you have?
Huh? For 6.
Huh?
6 of them.
6. Okay.
All right. Well,
number 3. Well, let's see. Number 3 then.
All right, number 3. You're not gonna play Power tonight, my friend.
I know, that's fine.
But I hope you guys are. For those of you who are watching, I hope you guys are enjoying it. Remember to follow Ken and sub to him, okay? Give him all the money. Give him all the money. So
Teo says NASB number 1. He's answering
yeah, the people do that. So I'll just go quickly on this one. Number 3 is keyword research.
Yeah. Yeah, keyword research, very good.
So keyword research is very important. This has to happen before you create content. You have to know if people are searching for this keyword.
Well, okay, so you have a niche. You know what you want to. You know what you want to talk. You want to do it on. Okay, so that you've already done that. So you want to actually have the keywords. I mean, you're talking about the key. I mean, obviously, keywords are one thing and very fundamental. Obviously, how you post it. Because everywhere you go to, YouTube, your blog, whatever, they have keywords, so you can easier to find, right? Are you actually also saying that, in a sense, by having the in the content creation, you actually say it or speak it?
Yes. You have to include keywords in the title. If you're doing YouTube, you have to include that keyword in your title.
I don't even actually.
In your descriptions. And so for my blog post, I have to include that keyword in my title, in my meta descriptions, and in my content. Now that's different from. That's not to suggest you spam those keywords and Google will like you, because Google will penalize any websites that spams those keywords. So you have to be careful of that. But keywords are very hard. Keyword research is actually not easy for many people because they don't know how to do it. So for instance, like people are trying to look for keywords, like for instance the best gaming laptop, right? Let's just use that as an example. Best gaming laptop on YouTube or on their website. And yet you're dealing with a lot of people, a lot of competitors who have a higher authority than you, and yet you're trying to compete with these guys. And so for instance, I'm just going, this is just so random. So best gaming laptop. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're competing with websites like PC Gamer, Games Radar, all these guys, The Verge. These are top dog, man. Now, that is a good keyword. Yeah. That's a good keyword. If you're able to rank number 1 for that keyword, you could potentially be making bajillions of dollars of money, because there are actually a lot of people searching for that. And I'll give you a website to search it up at the end of this podcast. I'm sorry for those of you who are waiting for that. But a lot of people are searching for this keyword, and you're like, how could I rank for this keyword? That's impossible. Well, if you type best gaming laptop, yeah, it's possible that you might not rank for this. Maybe you shouldn't focus on doing this kind of content or niche because it's so competitive out there. And even if you look at like all the other automatic fillers, if you go to the best gaming laptop, it says best gaming laptop in the world, best gaming laptop under $50,000, really, or best gaming laptop under 1,000. It's still quite a competitive niche. So you have PC World, Tom's Hardware, CNET, USA Today. Why are they writing, like, why in the world is USA Today writing that article? It's a news article. Well, that's because news articles have really extremely high authority. They can just write out whatever they want, and then they'll somehow rank still, even though that may not be their main niche. But because you have these news outlets who have a team of journalists, who have a team of content creators that can produce those articles, because those people have expertise on those topics. So what then, right? What you need to do is find what you call a low-hanging fruits, okay? What we call low-hanging fruits. Low-hanging fruits are keywords, not just the main keyword, but other sort of what we call long-tail keywords. If you don't understand those terms, that's totally fine. So like for me, when I wrote my blog, I said best Bible translations, or more, no, not just best Bible translation. I said 7 best Bible translations in 2024, but maybe not just 2024, but who's this best Bible translation for? I said 7 best Bible translations for beginners or for new Christians in 2024. So by doing that, even though best Bible translation may be my main keyword, all these other long tail keywords will give me a what you call the slice of the pie, because there are new believers who are also looking for Bible translation. There are beginners who are looking for Bible translations, and not only just looking for Bible translation, they're looking for Bible translations this year. So that's just one example. So
okay.
So it can be very difficult to drive traffic with specific keywords if you're trying to focus on a keyword that a lot of big companies are already ranking for, either on YouTube or even in blogging. So yeah, that's what I mean by keyword research.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense, because that's the things that people put in, and it does help get found. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So then I said that's gonna be brief. So because I know time is ticking. So the fourth principle is make quality content.
Well, okay.
That's pretty obvious.
Well, I mean, so when people first start streaming, people sometimes panic and freak out because they're like, I don't have all the good stuff, right? Well, just first off, just start it, okay? And if you watch anybody who you watch, like who's been around for a while, you go, oh my gosh, how expert you are. Yeah, you look at their first videos, they suck. Okay, you will learn and grow. So yes, you want to make quality content, but don't panic and freak out if it's just not the perfect thing,
Man, you just jumped into principle number 6.
Oh, really?
Yep.
What was that? Number 6 is don't be perfect?
Perfection kills progress.
I'm sorry, I didn't get ahead of you there. Kills progress.
No, that's totally fine. We'll get to it later.
I'll get back to it. Make quality content, which looks okay. So go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, make quality content. I mean, I don't need to say too much about this. You guys should already know. Provide, but then under make quality content, you have to provide value to your audience. Whether you're writing blog or making YouTube videos or even you're streaming, you want to provide value to your audience. You want to make sure that, I mean, every platform, Twitch, YouTube, they're different in its own SEO strategy. But of course, you want to provide value to your audience. You want to give people the reason to watch you or to stay around or read your content, right?
Yeah. I mean, a good example, I think, for us, like tonight, right, is that you and I, well, you did more than I did research. Obviously I provided the platform. I have this show going on. I have my graphics, so I'm trying to provide a certain amount of quality. I mean, not perfect, but yeah, again, something's out there.
Yep, something's out there. Same thing with Twitch streaming, right? Like the games that you're playing. Yeah, I mean, streaming is a very fun, weird thing, to be honest. Like, some people make it. Only a few people on Twitch make it to full time, but most don't.
Yeah,
I mean, you have
not partner like per se, but full time.
Not partner. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways. So that's, and also maintaining the consistency when you're making quality content. We all know this. Maybe some of you don't know this, but for those of us who have been around for a while, consistency is king. I think there's truth to that. So, of course, I'm not always the most consistent guy, but you try your best, right? So,
well, when you say so, consistency is in quality, or you're talking about just output like weekly, or just being on time, doing a regular consistent. So it's consistent being in quality. It's under quality, right? But you're also referring to the fact of being consistent in when you stream, what you're streaming, or what you're doing, right? It's so people will know you to get you there. If they're expecting you to drop a blog every Monday and you don't, people might forget the next week. Oh, or it become, I forgot the person that even existed.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that?
Yeah,
It's
schedule, it's quality.
That's under quality.
That,
okay. Yeah, makes sense.
It's also under quality.
It's under value. So I get, okay.
Because you want to provide value, right?
Yeah.
Of course, you have to set real expectations for yourself. Of course, if you cannot do it once a week, just do once a month, right? So, for instance, at least I'm saying YouTube videos for.
Well, yeah. Well, what's funny is that you use the word quality, but I hadn't thought about that. The consistency is quality. Okay. It's being, and that is. You might not think it is quality, but it is quality. Consistency is quality because if you're being consistent, okay, you're providing quality. You're providing value, to your audience. So
yeah, it's all those things. Okay, so yeah, make quality. Okay, fifth principle I would give you is patience and pivoting. I put it together. I'll give you a reason why. Put it together. You see, your content may not always get discovered. You have to be realistic about that. Your content may not always get discovered. And maybe if you're thinking about making YouTube videos, you pump up a YouTube video and you're hoping that it will hit something. Guess what? Chances are you may get it. You may be lucky, quote unquote lucky, or it may never be found. Maybe it will be found. Maybe only a few people can find it, right? I'll just share with you this. Like, one of my friend. I wouldn't say he's my friend. He's like more like a colleague or acquaintance. He started doing more streaming on YouTube. Okay, I know who he is. He used to be a member. There's a member in my church, but she's no longer around anymore. So there's a member in my church whose son is streaming on YouTube, and I asked him like, "Oh, how come you're streaming on YouTube? Why don't you come on streaming on Twitch?" He told me, "Yeah, I mean, I'm just lazy. I don't want to stream on Twitch because I gotta do this, export the VOD to my YouTube channel. I might as well just stream here because it'll be evergreen." But then his title, his streaming title, his description, or just nobody can find you. I mean, some people can find you, not.
So he kind of did the right thing. He went to a place where it's easier to do the work, right? But he didn't do anything else to help, because he did the easy turn the camera on YouTube. He didn't do anything else to get discovered because he's not doing the extra work.
Yeah, so like you're just keeping the same title. He's like, "Oh, this is my channel's name." Nobody cares about your channel's name. No offense, but nobody cares about your channel's name. So he put his channel name as this person, and then he says, "I'm playing this game," or more like the game that he's playing, and then part 1, part 2, part 3, and he's been doing the same thing for like a year. I've been following for 2 years. He barely got any views. He barely gets subscribers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if I'm not sure if you know what you're doing, my friend.
Well, I mean, my title for today's stream probably doesn't fit SEO, does it?
Well, Twitch is different. Twitch is a totally different ball game when it comes to title. So,
agreed, except that there is a way to be seen by the title you put into your Twitch stream, right?
Mm-hmm. And certainly there are different methodologies. They call it tactics or strategies. I like strategies because strategy is a long-term game. Tactic is just these little things you got to twist around to make things better. And for instance, your Twitch thing. So, perhaps let's just use this as an example, right? Maybe instead of having Christian streamer conversations in the beginning, I'm just throwing a suggestion off the cuff here. So like, you can title it as maybe not I'm talking about, but because nobody cares about my name. Okay, let's just put it that way. Because if you put topic SEO at the end, and if you go to Twitch, right? If you go to Twitch, let's go to the Christian tag that we're in. Nobody can find what the topic we're talking about is. Okay,
it's the dot.
It just says Christian streamer conversation. Now that's part of SEO. So maybe, unless people really care about Christian streamer conversation. Now, granted, this is your audience, not my audience. So maybe your audience already knows, like myself, knows that, oh, you're doing a Christian streamer conversation. So, so maybe that is okay to have Christian streamer conversation as the beginning of the title, because people who come to
if you're trying to get new people to find you, not the old ones.
Yeah, but yeah, so exactly. If people who already know you, and maybe they know your schedule, they know that your Sunday schedule is a Christian streamer conversation, maybe you don't have to put it in the beginning of the title. Think what you could put is talking about SEO at the beginning of the title.
That makes sense.
I'm just suggesting. It's okay.
No. I derailed you though. You were talking about patience and pivoting. You may not get discovered.
Yep. So you may not get discovered.
Which means on two levels, right? So you're starting off with the fact that, first off, have patience. Okay, it won't necessarily be an instant. Out of the gate, you'll be hitting the high marks, right?
Yes.
But you also then, because you may not get discovered, you may want to think about pivoting, because maybe your niche and your thing you are trying to stream on or to make content on isn't really getting anybody's attention.
Yeah. So exactly. So that's why, like, it depends on your niche, right? Sometimes if things are not working out for you, like I said, that's why you need to be passionate. You need to be passionate about what you're doing, and you need to be an expertise about what you're doing, right? And so, yeah, at the same time, we recognize that some niche don't always work, because one is nobody's looking for it, or second is way too competitive. But I do think that,
well, that's like doing research ahead.
Yeah, that's why you got to do research ahead.
Back to the very first thing you talked about. Know your niche, okay? And part of that has to do with
is there a market out there?
You know the market for your niche. It's like yeah.
So, and sometimes if things aren't working out, you may have to reconsider your niche and pivot your content. So for me, when I started out, I thought I would be the guy I thought I would be the pastor on this website, the epitome of all websites, epitome of all Christian websites that would give Bible information about a variety of topics. So I thought about doing topics like, oh, what does the Bible say about this and this and that? But I recognized as I was doing my research, I think I did one or two of them. Like, what does the Bible say about content creation, right? I did write about that. But I realized that is a very competitive niche. Unless I'm very creative with my strategy, I need to maybe not go down this route. And so somehow I pivoted, and I just wrote things that would hopefully stick, right? So let me just finish these lines here.
Okay.
So, but as you're creating content, right? Sometimes you don't choose the niche, but the niche chooses you. Get it?
Yeah.
So I found success in Bible reading and Bible translations because I wasn't thinking about ranking for those things. I wasn't thinking about focusing on those topical authority. But somehow I was finding first big success in those topics, and so therefore I put my foot on the pedal and just focus on those topics. And so that's what I did. And
well, I was thinking something you're doing this year. You decided to stream at least one. You decided to stream every single day. Yes. Was that like a pivot, or is that something you decided to try something different, or
no.
What?
Okay. It's just a stupid resolution that has no SEO value to it.
Okay.
I mean, it could.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. I was just curious if you algorithm that, you know, it's like, oh yeah, if I did this every day, then I might get more. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Last thing I wanted to say is, oh man, it's getting too late. Perfection kills progress. So Mr. Beast once said in his podcast that all of you, most of you, if not all of you, know Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
He's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, actual YouTuber aside from T-Series, big YouTuber out there. In his podcast, when it comes to content creation, he once said, this is video content creation on YouTube. He once said that your first 100 videos will suck. He literally said that. He said your first 100 videos. He didn't say your first 5 videos. He didn't say your first 10 videos. He said your first 100 videos will suck. And I'm like, that's a lot of videos to be making that suck.
How many have I made so far on my YouTube channel?
But I think what I'm sensing is that I get his point.
Yeah.
Because
you're always getting better.
Exactly, and that's the whole point, right? We have to be humble in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like we cannot think that it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get on there and then hopefully hope for the best, right? And all those things. And that is when he said that, it's really humbling if you think about it. But that's not meant to discourage us. What it's trying to say is you don't have to be perfect. That's this whole point, because people focus so much on making the first video to be very good and hope it'll hit something. But people tend to give up because they want to be perfect at it. They want to make sure every little detail is perfect so that they can somehow please the algorithm god. Of course, we don't believe in that. And so they get overly obsessed with getting all the SEO stuff, and they get overly obsessed with being perfect in their videos, in their writings, and yet try to hit all those SEO checklist score. But sometimes people give up because they just become perfections. That's why I say perfection kills progress. You get discouraged. And it's like, oh,
yeah. Well, that's a very good. I mean, it's one thing about. I mean, even that's why I tell people at work. Okay, even in your day-to-day job, right? Don't panic. Okay, obviously, like it's like you know, a lot of companies have checks and balances, right?
Yes.
Someone, like for say, someone might draw the drawing, then someone checks the drawing, then someone does a stress analysis on the drawing, and then we have somebody who does production engineering on the drawing, and then it finally gets released. So there's a lot of checks and balances. So don't panic. Yes, you want to do it right the first time. Absolutely, you want to do it right the first time, but don't panic. Now, that's a little different in doing an airplane drawing, okay, than doing a stream. You're not going to have a plane fall out of the air if your stream is your stream video sucks, okay?
Yep.
But the thing is, like I said, if you watch some of the great talents out there, you go through their first videos, you're like, oh my gosh, how bad you are. Yeah, they learned. I mean, not to say that I'm that great talent, but when I was streaming 10 years ago, you know, I sucked, okay? I'm doing a lot better now. I might still suck. The biggest thing for me also is I've learned over the years to be better in pronunciation, better at pausing, better at not umming and ahhing. I am a much better communicator today than I have been in the past. And so that's where you learn and grow. If I had stopped, because I sucked, I wouldn't be better now.
Yeah, exactly. And when we say perfection kills progress, I don't mean that you don't put effort into it, but it does mean that you want to incrementally improve your content over time, right? So Mr. Beast once said that your first video will suck, but in the second video, even though it will suck, your second video should be a little bit better than your first video. So be incrementally better at content creation. So like when I started doing more writing, I sucked at writing. Well, I'm not sure if I sucked at writing. But there are a lot of things that I learned over time with blogging, for instance. Video content creation will be different. Streaming will definitely be different. Everything will be different, but nonetheless, you want to have these sort of principles in your arsenal as you think about content creation. So, you know, Retro Rewind is here, right? And I assume he's still here. And he's
oh my
doing
gosh,
podcasts.
Yeah,
he's doing retro stuff. And like, you know, that's his niche, right? That's his niche. And the question is, how can he, you know, I want him to succeed, right, in his podcast and his niche. And with with going back to the retro stuff, now the question is, how can he, you know, continue to, you know, improve, right? And he does podcasts too. Now, podcasts I'm not too familiar with, to be honest, with SEO, but there is a sense of SEO there.
Oh yeah,
so
it has to be. The titles, I think, also. Well,
yeah,
that's a good point. I don't know. That's a very good point. Yeah, because on one level, you're asking, when I go to a podcast, I'm searching for the name because I already know someone I want to listen to. If you're algorithm, algorithm for podcast.
Well, there is.
Well, he has a website, so he wants to have his website get picked up. You know, so his website will drive. That's where the SEO comes in for him. His website has that stuff, and from there it's links to his podcast, but then links to other stuff there too.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say that whenever you see anything that is search worthy, like whether it's Spotify, you're searching for something, there is an aspect of, there is SEO involved. At least my theory. So I think Bing has SEO involved. I of course, Google definitely has SEO involved. YouTube, Amazon, Pinterest, to a certain extent, Twitch, sort of. That's why a lot of people complain that on Twitch, it's like, oh yeah, people can't find my stream. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that's true, because Twitch is not powered by Google, right? So anyways, that's the 6 principles. I know I've been going for a long time. I was going to get into the 7th point I want to get into, but I guess we can't.
What, there's a 7.2?
Not the principle. So far on this stream, on this podcast, we talked about how I got into SEO. Second, what gives me the credentials to talk about SEO. Third, what is SEO all about? Fourth, why is SEO important for Christians? Fifth, why I think solid Bible believing Christians aren't utilizing SEO correctly and fully in content creation. 6, key principles of SEO, which I talked about.
Oh, I see.
And then the 7th one, which I don't think we have time to get into. I was hoping to get into some general comment on SEO on different platforms.
Well, let's
but
do.
I guess I touched upon it a little bit here and there already.
Well, and this is like part 1. We can have you on for another. You know, I want you on for a different topic in the future, but we can do your next time you're on part 2 of this.
Yeah, hopefully it's not 2 hours.
Well, we'll see. You know, but this is good information. You know, I mean, it is really good stuff. And the biggest thing, I think, obviously this is good because it teaches people. Obviously, what's going to come next, the next show you got to come watch, right? Is the actual what can I do, the things you actually can do. And you mentioned websites or different apps or tools, whatnot. So that's where they got to come back for the next show. We gave you a good groundwork, you know. So
yeah, I think these are just, again, hopefully foundational principles to think about. Again, it's good to at least learn some things. I like I said, I'm not an SEO expert, but because I've applied what I've learned into my website, I found success, and even in YouTube. Now I stopped doing YouTube for a bit because it just drained a lot of my time and energy. I would love to make more videos on Undertale. I did record a video on Undertale, but then there's editing involved, right? So all these things, the SEO, all these things, they're involved too. So,
right.
But I did say that I want to provide some key or some tools, resources to assist you on SEO in your content creation. The first one is I would highly recommend you check out. This is a course on SEO. Let me just type it on chat and then let's see. Course. Now this is a free course. And I think it uses, like, not sure how up to date this information is, but this was 2 years ago. But it's from this channel called Ahrefs. So Ahrefs.
Hey everyone, my name is Samo, and welcome
it gives you a complete SEO course for beginners. Learn to rank #1 on Google. Now, the reason why I use Ahrefs is also because they have a website, which is a very good tool. Which has a lot of really, really good tools. A lot of them are free, but if you want to get a paid version, it's very expensive to help you in SEO. But I use the free version. So, okay, sorry. Let me give you more of a specific website. I posted another one. It says free SEO tools. So I cannot teach you everything about how to use all this, but if you want to do keyword research, Ahrefs is really good. Even just using what you call keyword generator, I think they're the best of a keyword generator. If you're using blogging, for instance, you can. I didn't know Retro has a blog, but something you can look into. So, what was I gonna say? So Ahrefs is good with keyword research or research generator. They're good for blogging, I think. Now you have to go on YouTube and do your own research on how to use it, but they're best for blogging, I think. But if you're looking for YouTube, for instance, YouTube keyword research, vidIQ. Go to vidIQ. vidIQ. For those of you who are YouTubers or into YouTube, you need to use vidIQ because I think it helps you. You don't have to really. I mean, there are different methodologies out there, but if you want to do keyword research, for instance, they do provide you some free tools to use. But then of course, there are some good things in there that are paywall, so you got to pay for it if you want to invest in these tools. Lastly, there's one more. Where's my thing? Now, if you're a Twitch guy, if you're a streamer, if you want to be better at SEO, I don't know if Twitch really has good SEO, to be honest. But my suggestion is you should look into what happened to your stream? I'm trying to find your stream. Okay, no. Twitch has this built-in way to help you in your content creation journey or streaming journey, and that is Twitch. If you go to Twitch dashboard, you go to analytics, and you go to research. Now, I don't know how good it is really, but they do have some tools to help you in creating content. So they give you I think they give you I'm not sure if they give you an idea or not, but they may give you an idea of viewership and how you can gain more viewers. So
learn when categories have higher viewership. You know, time to stream, week at a glance, you know, viewer to channel ratio.
Yeah, and they have these tools for you so that you can at least assist you in some way or form. But of course, today we cannot get into all the general comment I was planning to with Twitch. But yeah, I think there's a lot to cover. I've only just letting you know, guys. This is just a tip of the iceberg. There's so much out there. There's so much information out there. A lot of them are free, but of course you gotta watch out you gotta pay attention to what you're listening to. So, any questions, Kenneth?
No. Bruder's asking how long before I post a VOD for this. Once I finish streaming, I'll make sure it's published. I thought I fixed my VODs will be published, but I'm gonna make an actual YouTube video out of this later on. You know, assuming that Epitimy is okay with that. Oh my gosh, 2-hour YouTube video. I might cut it up to pieces. You know. So yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, thanks Epitimy for being here. We'll do some more of this later on. That was really good. That was really good information. Okay, I mean, Epitimy did it on my stream one time. He was dumping a lot of stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need this. I need to write a document for this. You know, and then this is good information because I mean, yeah, it's like the biggest thing is that it takes some work, some time, do the research, do the work, and the idea is also then to try. If the goal is whatever your goal is you want to do, right, is then find a way to make sure you can be seen so people can see what you're trying to do.
Yeah, exactly. You want to, because God has given us a time, because if we want to reach the world of the gospel of Jesus Christ, like whatever your intent is, right? Maybe your intent is you want to teach the Bible, right? Of course, how are you going to do that, right? You want to share the gospel. How are you going to do that?
Right. Well, it's everything.
You,
Retro in his show. How do you share that? Epitimy. How in his Bible translation? How did he share that? It's like whatever you do, whether you're doing for the Lord, do it well, and then why not let people know about it too?
Yeah, and then of course for Sir Jazio, if he's here, he may be interested in he may be interested in doing more Reformed theology, right? How are you going to do that? How do you share that information to people who are it's so saturated, right? Reformed theology, or Christian apologetics. That's a good one. That's a good niche, but then that's very broad. But you should at least be more specific.
So Retro said thank you for all the info. Brutica says it was interesting, lots of info to process. Gio was like, no, but congratulations on your child dedication today at church.
Oh, thank you, Sir Jazio. Yeah, okay, so just to let you guys know, Bruticus and Retro, my mind is very mush with these information because it's just, there's a lot there. Even there are some things, I mean, I'm not perfect at it. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm still learning. I still watch videos on YouTube. Some of the books I follow, some of them get very deep, and I'm like, ooh. Not ooh in a bad way, but it's just like, whoa, like that's very technical, that's very detailed. Like I'm not prepared to follow it. Not saying it's a bad thing, but it's just different ways of doing things. Especially I didn't even talk about this, like we are living in the world of AI, so people a lot of SEO experts are utilizing AI for content creation, so keep that in mind.
We should put you on the calendar to come back in like you've got Yoshi next week. You can come back in 2 weeks,
Oh,
no. Next week is no show because it's Super Bowl Sunday, and the 18th is Yoshi, and we'll see if Jazio is available on the 25th. So I don't know. Let me know.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'll be very busy next month or so.
I wonder what's happening. Something coming up next month or so?
Well, Shepherd's Conference in March.
I was thinking of Easter. Okay, but okay.
And then Easter, Good Friday, and then some church leadership got to deal with.
I hope to be by the 20th. Okay, that's cool, Jazio. A topic might be of interesting would be to talk about the Alistair Begg thing, at some point in the future. What's interesting is that there are those who have heard of it, and those who my church, my old church, my Bible study on Saturday morning, I mentioned it, and while some have heard of it, most had not heard of the whole Alistair Begg thing. But then again, not everybody follows Christian Twitter and whatnot, so. All right, Epitimy, thank you so much for being here. Thanks for all the information. Well done. And it was cool. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me here, brother.
I appreciate that. Say bye to Epitimy. Thanks for having him here. And okay. I'm gonna go jump over to just talk about the rest of the week. But thanks you. I'm gonna say goodbye to him on here. So goodbye.
Bye.